pep talk just to get them amped up for the season. And you said you're doing everybody a disservice if you're not out here doing your job. How have you kind of seen that motivational speech translate to the players, and how's that sitting well for you that it's going well?
So yeah, basically like what I said, if you're not giving your all, you're doing everybody a disservice, and you can see it with the way people practice, with the way people go about their recovery, and with the way people go about their schedules. Like everybody realizes it's bigger than them. So there's no individuals on this team. There's no supermen, and everybody just focused on doing their job to help the team accomplish a common goal.
Considering just the background of all of these guys, and you've obviously got so many leaders, so many vocal leaders on this team, but you've very much stood out as a walk-on. Why is that the case that you felt you needed to be the big voice?
Yeah, I mean, when I started as a walk-on, I really didn't say anything. Obviously, like, you get into an uncommon ground and you get a little nervous. But as I've matured in my career, somebody has to do it, and I always felt like God pushed me to be that guy, to be the vocal leader, to serve and inspire. So any chance I'll get, I'll take that, and I won't pass that up again. And I regret that earlier in my career, not speaking up and saying what I needed to. So that's why, yeah.
When did you start speaking up? At what program, what year?
It was probably right before last season with NIU. It was in the summer. I was kind of going through a lot of things mentally, but something sparked, and then in the summer I became more of a vocal leader, and that's when everything just started progressing, and I was awarded team captain by Coach Hammock, which I will forever appreciate him for that. But it's just a mindset thing. Like, I told myself I have to elevate, and not only the way I play, but the way I help my teammates and lead. So that's been a big part of my game.
That team captain title, and obviously the way that you've been respected here, how much does that mean to you coming from the background you came from?
It means everything. It means that you're respected by your teammates, and they're willing to follow you, but it's also a responsibility because I have to uphold the standards for those guys, and I will every day to make sure like we're all on the same pace and all doing the right things to be great.
And do you do it just for you? Do you do it for the team? Do you do it for God? What is your why till you do it?
More for the team, obviously, for God as well, because like I said, my main purpose is to serve, lead, and inspire. So however I can do that, I feel like I'm doing the right thing in life. Whether I make every player 0 plays, it doesn't matter as long as the team's doing good. So, yeah.
Who is the player that we're not talking about that we should be talking about that you see setting an example?
What do you mean, from like a leader aspect or a playing aspect?
Your choice.
From a playing aspect, I'd say A.J. Holmes is playing spectacular. And from a leader aspect, you say Cole Wisniewski, my fellow Wisconsin boy. And he's very vocal with the safeties and with the team. Like, sometimes, like, obviously I say something before every practice, but sometimes I'll call him up or somebody else, but Cole always has the right thing to say and always leading the guys the right way. So I'll say Cole from a leadership aspect too.
Do you believe there should be ties in the NFL?
No, that's crazy. I can't believe they let that be a tie, but no, I don't believe there should be.
Skyler, continuing kind of with the leadership aspect, there's a lot of good ones on this team. You're going through the bye week, and last year maybe it wasn't as friendly to this team when they came out of it. What are some of the things that the leaders have been doing this week just to keep the team locked and focused on the task at hand after being off for a week?
Yeah, so when we had our couple of days off, Bryce Ramirez sent a text to everybody just saying the standard is a standard, and we know we have to do to be great, so don't waste the time that we have off. And I think that was really important because you get into so many wins and you start to like fall in it, dwell in it, and you let the success get to your head. But we have leaders like Bryce, J-Rod, myself. We're not going to let that happen. So obviously I don't really know what took place last year with the bye week, but we're a different team and a whole different mindset. So that won't happen again. And, yeah, like leaders like Bryce Ramirez, like that was really important for the team. So he had us all fired up.
And then obviously this is a talented team. They wouldn't be undefeated if they weren't. Going up against this offense, what are you guys going through throughout the week to prepare for them?
Yeah, they're a very talented offense. We've been watching a lot of film on them, just trying to get the game plan right. And as for us, I would just say it starts up front, as it always does. So whoever's the most physical up front will have the better game, and we'll see on Saturday who that is.
When you go into an environment like Utah and such a spotlight is put onto the trenches, how much of a fuel to the fire is it for your group, and conversely, how do you let that go on to the next week?
I mean, it's something we take pride in every week is putting it on our backs. Like, we'll take that any day of the week because we know at the end of the day, if we're not playing our best, the team's not going to be great. So going into Utah, you know, they have a great O-line, but we knew who we are as D linemen, whether it was a 1 or a 2. Everybody went in there and gave it all they had. So we take pride in the trenches, and, like, we get really angry when the team runs for a yard on us. Like, that's the type of guys we are, and we don't like that. So we're going to do our best to keep people behind the sticks.
You guys mentioned trying not to lose focus with the bye, but is it hard to watch game film of Houston's last game against Oregon State and not compare, or what can you even take from that film, if anything?
You know, everybody has their games, and we don't look at that game and compare, because at the end of the day, anybody can play against anybody with the right game plan, with the right mindset, and how they attack the preparation. Obviously, what happened last week happened, and it was a great win for Houston. But obviously, we know what type of team we are. They know what type of team they are, and they're preparing just as hard as we are. But if we start trying to compare and do things like that, we're not really looking in the mirror and focus on what we need to focus on. So we're not doing a lot of comparing.
You mentioned Coach Hammock a couple minutes ago. He had a statement a couple weeks back about all the people he put everywhere. What has he meant to your development as a football player?
Yeah, I mean, without Coach Hammock, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you. Him and Coach Geely changed my life, and I'm very thankful for them every day. I still keep in contact with those guys, and I'm just super appreciative of them because, yeah, without them, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I probably would be working a regular job, coaching at my old high school, and just living a regular life.
Compare the two environments, Notre Dame last year and Utah. How do they differ? What kind of stood out to both of them?
Utah was definitely louder, but yeah, I would say Utah was a crazier game. I mean, obviously nobody expected us to go in Notre Dame and beat them. So when we did, it was kind of quiet the whole second half. But Utah, I mean, those fans are great, loud, everything that you want to play in. But Utah was definitely a crazier experience.
Are you guys giving AJ and Sheila any grief about going back to Houston this week?
Coach McGuire actually talked about that yesterday, and we're not going to give them anything because McGuire said if they're worrying about going back and playing their old school, then they're doing this team a disservice, like I said before, and not focusing on what we have to the entire week. So AJ, I mean, Lee might have made a couple jokes toward AJ saying, he said, AJ, don't cry when we go back, but we're not giving them too much.
How's the mindset of this team changed from the beginning of the year to right now?
It hasn't changed at all. Since January, we've been talking about what's next, and we keep that mindset every single day, being 1-0 every single day, and not letting the success get to us, not sitting in success. We're choosing to build on it every single week. So, obviously, we want to play harder every single week. So that's probably the only thing that changes is how can we improve every week. But the mindset's still the same.
Going back to when you got that team captain nod, can you kind of take me through that conversation you had with the coach and just what he recognized out of you?
Yeah, so I went through a lot of troubled times last summer that I won't get into, but that's ultimately when I decided to make the change, and I stepped up as a vocal leader, started doing things the right way, and it was the last day of fall camp, and I had put in my notes literally like 2 months before. I was like, I will be a captain of this team, and that day I was awarded captain. I didn't cry in front of my teammates, but I cried when I got home because it was just something that I always worked for. And I sent Coach Hammond that text, and I was like, Coach, look at the date. Like, this is something that I manifested, and it was just a surreal moment because being a captain of a college team is probably like the highest honor to me that I think you can get. So to be able to get that was awesome, and to show how much trust and respect he had for me was also awesome. But not only him, but the team. So it was just a great experience overall.
And then obviously that is a lot of weight on your shoulders. Has there ever been a moment since then that you felt like it's too much, or that you've maybe had a week where you weren't able to be the vocal leader you wanted to be?
I mean, yeah, sometimes you don't know exactly what to say, so you go out there and lead by example with just how you play. But I don't think it's ever been too much. I just think sometimes I will get stressed because I would just sit there and be like, how can I do better for the team? How can I make the team better? What can I do to elevate everyone. So, but I wouldn't say it's a lot of stress. No.
All right, thank you, Skyler.
Appreciate you guys.